Our next speaker right now is Katalin Kóthay, Gabriella Dembitz Flóra Kevéy from the Fine Arts Museum in Budapest. The Interaction on Display and Museum Education, the new permanent exhibition of ancient Egyptian antiquities in the Fine Arts Museum, Budapest. Thank you.
I'm very happy to be here and have the opportunity to talk about our new permanent exhibition, which is not that new because we opened it in 6 years ago. The first thing I want to tell you about is that although I had some small part in the organization of this exhibition, but the greatest work wasn't done by me, but by 3 other colleagues. The curator of the exhibition was the former head of the Egyptian collection, Eva Liptai, who just passed away 2 years ago. And I have 2 other colleagues, Gabriella Dembitz Flóra Kevéy, who did the educational part. They belong to the curatorial staff. They are curators, they are an Egyptologist, but they supervise the educational part for Egyptology in the museum too. So this exhibition has a somewhat complicated history and a long one. In 2008, we had to dismantle the old permanent exhibition because there was a plan to renovate the museum building. Eventually, this plan was suspended for a few years. In the meantime, we displayed in a limited space a part of our collection. There was no particular concept for this exhibition. We mainly showed highlights and interesting pieces and tried to arrange them in a nice way. Shortly after, it was decided that there would be no renovation, and we moved back to the old place and organized a new permanent exhibition in the old rooms, which we opened at the end of 2013. And just 3 days, literally 3 days before the opening, we learned that the renovation would start after all, early in 2015. So before the opening, we knew that this exhibition would be dismantled a little bit in 1 year, a little bit more than 1 year. The concept revolved around 3 themes, 3 very simple themes. We have a rather small collection, 3,800 objects, and the Old Kingdom and the earlier periods are very underrepresented, so we can't do a chronological display, and we have to find a very, very simple, very clear concept to show our objects. So the concept revolved around 3 themes. The first room, which was painted green, represented the world of humans. The second, painted blue, was dedicated to the gods, and artifacts associated with the dead were exhibited in the third red room. So we dismantled this exhibition too. The objects were moved to temporary store places, and our offices were moved to a different building. Following the renovation, we returned. The museum reopened, and we set up a new permanent exhibition, which we opened in 2018. We displayed over 700 artifacts in a new and somewhat larger space than the old one. And the new concept was built on the 2013 exhibition's concept, but the exhibition, the display, was entirely different. Again, the exhibition space was or is now divided into 3 large thematic sections representing the Egyptian worldview, the realm of the gods, that is the temple, the realm of humans, and the realm of the dead, that is the cemetery and the tomb. And there are smaller additional rooms. There is a corridor which represents, there is a corridor here. Oops, sorry. No, I went the other way. So a small corridor here which represents the communication between the living and the dead. There is a side room to the realm of the dead, or the realm of Osiris, which is dedicated to afterlife concepts. And there is an educational area. Officially, we call it Chamber of Egyptian Secrets, but usually we just call it Discovery Room. So let's start with the world of the gods. When visitors enter the exhibition, they are in a space that recalls an Egyptian temple. It's not a reconstruction, it's just a hint to the Egyptian temple. First, we wanted to paint the columns, but eventually we decided to keep the setting very simple but clear. At the end, here, there are temple reliefs from a Ptolemaic temple, the temple of Ptolemy I, and the space in front of it contains statues that can be associated with temples or the cult of the gods. In the center, there's the statue of Prince Shoshenq of the 22nd dynasty, who was a high priest of Ptah. And to the right, there are block statues, which were once placed in temple courts. The owner of one of these statues was Ptahang, singer of the Temple of Ptah. And on the other side, there is a lady with a standard of Hathor, and you can see her here. And probably some of you met her, particularly the Spanish colleagues, because she visited Madrid 2 years ago when she participated in the exhibition Daughters of the Nile. To the left and to the right, there are showcases which show objects associated to gods and the temples, statues of gods, cult instruments, and here there are votive objects and animal mummies. This is the same room from a different angle, but in the center you can see a small statue, the statue of a late Middle Kingdom king. Actually, this is the only royal statue in our collection. I mean, we have sculptural models, but the only king statue in our collection. And this shows how the two rooms communicates, how the two sections communicates with each other. So the realm of humans has sculptures of kings and private persons, and other showcases contain objects associated with human activities in earthly life. We have some objects associated with scripts, writing, and scribes. And on the opposite, these are here. On the opposite wall, there is a long showcase where objects of domestic cults and personal piety are displayed, a Middle Kingdom magic tool, healing statues, amulets, and etc. Now here's the corridor that connects the realm of humans with the realm of the dead, which represents the entrance to the cemetery and entrance to the tomb. So we displayed here our stelae and some funerary cult objects. Finds from the Hungarian excavation in Thebes are also exhibited here. And on the other side, we have some photographs of Deir al-Medina, and here a few objects from Deir al-Medina, or a few objects we think are from Deir al-Medina. The next room is for the dead, and it is conceived as a tomb with coffins and shafts in the ceiling. And on the walls, funerary equipment, canopic jars, shop teas, and mummy trappings are displayed. About 15 years ago, we CT scanned our mummies, and the results are accessible by the visitors with the help of a touch screen. The small side room closing the exhibition is dedicated to the afterlife beliefs and objects connected to it. Here are artifacts associated with Anubis, barbirds, and Ptoxocarus iris statues, and similar objects. Since the organization of the exhibition is thematic, in each section a chronological table helps visitors to place the objects in time. So we draw the most important objects in this chronological line. In order to make the exhibition more interesting, we have temporary showcases. Showcase 0, we call it pop-up showcases. We make 2 such showcases each year, in each year, where current or interesting topics are presented. And usually we try to find a topic which has some connection with current events or the modern conceptions of ancient Egypt. This is what we have now. It's the title is Ancient or Modern, where we displayed original and objects and copies, and there are short explanations for visitors to help them to find out which is ancient and which is modern. And here on the side they have inscriptional material, giving the answers and giving them more information if they need. The one before, which we opened last Christmas, we wanted to show the material from which Egyptian objects are created, in this instance, rocks and minerals. So we had many rocks and minerals. Gabriella Dembitz's mother is an expert in gems, and my sister is a geologist, so we really didn't have much work to do with that. So we placed the original objects and rocks and minerals side by side. And the next showcase, which we will open before Christmas, will be a showcase showing some objects from the small collection of Edith Varga, the former head of the Egyptian collection, who just passed away 3 years ago, and we purchased her collection, or we will purchase. So we will get in the possession of the objects in 2 or 3 weeks. To the left of the realm of the gods, there is a room for museum education. And this was conceived by my co-authors, Gabi Dembitz and Flóra Kevély. It is called Chamber of Egyptian Secrets, but we also call it Discovery Room. It contains some original objects, but not Egyptian objects, but Near Eastern ones. And we have many copies in this room, a space for children to sit. And actually, this is the room where guided tours for children start and end. There is also a screen to show here, less than 10-minute animation on New Kingdom Thebes. I will show you an excerpt from the movie at the end. We have several digital installations to complement and facilitate the understanding of artifacts and Egyptian culture, and to engage visitors to interact. Again, these installations are the ideas of Gabi and Flóra. In the room dedicated to the gods, just opposite the statue representing the woman with the Hathor standard, there is an installation in the form of a papyrus bush, which enables visitors to hear the reconstructed sound of the sistrum when they pass by. It's just here. In the same section, Realm of the Gods, an interpreting installation presents the daily temple rituals in Egypt. The screen shows original temple scenes, but without the pictorial representation. First, only the texts occur, and when visitors touch any part of the text, the relevant images start to appear. And when the whole representation is drawn this way, an explanation to the scene can be read on the bottom. And this is accessible in both in English and Hungarian. And this is the favorite of our visitors. This installation is next to the stele. And in the box, there is a real stele, a Middle Kingdom stele of the Inspector Sehotabib. And on the right, you have several options: symbols, writings, family, and colors. And if you touch the word symbols, there are some symbols listed one after the other. And if you touch any of these symbols, there is a small text explaining it, and the symbol occurs on the stele. Anubis, for instance, or a royal cartouche. And if you find colors, again, there is a list of colors. And if you touch the color, first to the right, there are a few lines about the color, its symbolism. And if you touch the screen, then the relevant colors occur. And at the end, you have the colorful stele. Of course, now we have almost no colors of the stele, the original one. So let's see, maybe I can.
Értem, hogy
Okay, so
a
this is
sírom
the expert from the
készítésében.
movie,
Nem csak
which
jó
is.
szobrász, hanem szépen is
Oh,
rajzol.
sorry, it's in
Láttam.
Hungarian. Oh, good. Unfortunately, it's not accessible in English. So this is about New Kingdom Thebes in the time of Ramesses II. This is a man, a treasurer of the Temple of Amun and Karnak, who goes to Deir el-Medina to negotiate with the sculptor Neferrempet, who is responsible for making his tomb. And on his way, he talks about what he sees. He talks about the village, that the village is far from the riverbank, so they need water. They have a particular marketplace, and then he enters the village and goes through the street, and then he will arrive at the doorway of the house of Neferrempet. And when the doorway will open, we have a look inside the house of Neferrempet. But this is just a small part, so later he will talk about the tombs of the inhabitants of Deir el-Medina and many things about New Kingdom themes. Again, the idea and the development was done by Gabi and Flora, our colleagues who also do educational programs. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Katalin. I wanted to start by asking some questions. I really like the vitrine that you had, kind of like a display case here. You had like leaflets on the left-hand side.
Yes.
I assume those leaflets are for visitors. Is it just for them to read while they are in the room? Can they take it home? And the second question is, do you carry out surveys on visitors, and if they enjoyed it, liked it, give new ideas, etc.?
Well, the leaflets cannot be taken home. There are some others, but not these ones. And we have the leaflets because we have a policy that we shouldn't write too many texts. Because visitors won't read it. So it's better to write some short explanations because at least they read it. But we want to give more information, so that's why we have the leaflets. And the other question was?
Do you carry out?
Yes.
You carry out surveys on your visitors?
Yeah, we do. And we are in a very lucky situation because Gabi and Flora made guided tours each week, so they have a direct contact with not only with children, also with adults. So we have direct feedback from the visitors.
How often do you change the vitrine? The one that you mentioned.
Twice a year. So that's about 6 months.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, me.
Thank you. Do you plan to do the video in English soon?
Pardon me?
Do you plan to have the video in English soon?
No, I don't think so. I know that this would be interesting, but that would be great work, and we needed money for that. But we plan.
Yes, Keiko?
Thank you so much for inspiring and interesting presentation. I was so interested in it. And my question is, on the TV screen, as for TV screen, you mentioned animation is on the screen or something like that. But this animation, what you say, it's made of your museum or TV program or something. Which do you use for educational program?
I mean, the screens.
Yeah.
It's ours. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
Sorry,
understand.
when you introduce the educational program on the kind of TV screen, if my memory is correct, you mentioned that you use animation or something on the TV. No?
Yeah, yes, it's a screen, but we have installations. Many of them are not screens, but installation. And all the programs are developed by us.
So, made of your museum?
Yeah.
Okay, so is only, that use your collection or more general program?
No. We have an informatics staff to do that. We conceive the ideas and, well, I don't really understand, sorry.
I just want to know that is it the program is handmade by your museum or?
No, it's our museum.
Okay.
Sometimes we have outside studios, but even those studios usually work with us for many years.
Okay, thank you very much. And the second one is I'm so interested in the, how do you say, touching and the coloring the simple stela. Yeah. Sorry, I think I couldn't pick up your your explanation, but it's it's not good question, but totally how much was it to install that system? Because it's really interesting and really the nice program to us and very
in money.
No, the big budget or
I don't know, because it was part of the renovation. So we were very lucky because this refurbishment was part of the renovation. So there was a big budget and we were just part of it.
Oh, right. Okay. So really, really, interesting to me. And my museum just started to, innovated the system device for, the hearing difficulties or, eyesight difficulties. So the program is good for that, the purpose, I think. So that's why I just am interested in it. And when I go back to my museum, I want to, talk about or introduce this system to my educational to my museum. Sorry, the nosy question.
Well, actually, it is the policy of our museum to get new digital installations. So if we ask for an object or restoration, they support it, but not as much when we ask for some new digital installation.
Okay, thank you so much. That's the question. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Any more questions? No? Well then, thank you very much, Katalin. Thank you.